Hey everyone, so today we will be answering what might be the most sought after question, certainly the question that I get the most, which is, do I have enough to retire? Or it could be put it a different way. Maybe you're not the one who wants to retire, right? You're going to work till you die, you like it, gives you meaning in life. Maybe you just want to know that you have enough, right? You're financially independent. If you wanted to retire, you could. Do you have enough? Stay tuned. That's what we'll be answering right now. Jumping into it. So I'm going to answer the question with a question, and that is, what's your burn rate? I know some of you, you might be thinking, Tyler, I have no clue what my burn rate is. Somewhere along the way, I forgot it, right? And that's common. Usually, you start out in your career, you know your burn rate to the dollar, right? You're tracking it, your penny pension, you have to know it. Somewhere along the way, couple promotions, you get your mortgage, have the kids, you know you're saving enough, and then you're spending the rest, right? You don't know exactly what it looks like, what your burn rate is, but it's working out. And then it comes full circle. You get closer to retirement, and you're thinking, oh crap, I need to figure out my burn rate like right now. And you try to do some napkin math. Well, I got a budget sheet down below. It might help. It's pretty in depth. It's pretty detailed balance sheet or budget sheet. Sorry, but thinking about your burn rate, you want to run the calculation and be forward thinking, right? Like if your mortgage is going to fall off the balance sheet when you retire, back out that mortgage from your current burn rate. If you're going to be traveling more in retirement, add that to your current burn rate. It's a lot easier to figure out your burn rate if the kids are out of the house, but figure that out. And let's say you come back and the burn rate is, I don't know, $15,000. We'll run with that number. Well, $15,000 a month is $180,000 a year, right? We can agree on that. That's $180,000 a year is what you need after taxes. So let's assume for a second your taxes is 30%. Some of you might be higher, others of you might be lower. For simplicity, let's say 30. Your taxes is 30%. You need to bring in $260,000 before taxes to pay for $15,000 a month of living expenditure. Watch what I do here. Excuse my handwriting. So 25 multiplier. And I know what you guys are thinking. 25 multiplier. Simple. I like that. Well, I don't know if I like that. How'd you come up with that? 25 multiplier. I know a lot of you guys have read out there, hey, whatever your nest egg is, however much money you've accrued, take 4% of that, and that's what you can live off of this year. That's not perfect math. Napkin math is not perfect. That's what we're doing here. But 4% is the exact same thing as saying a 25 multiplier. If you take 4% of $6.5 million and you back out taxes, you will get 15,000 a month. Okay, so you could pause the video right here. You might be the person that says, Tyler, I did the 25 multiplier, I backed out the taxes, I got my 6.5 million. I'm good. Stick with me because there is a couple imperfections to this, and I'm going to talk about the largest imperfection, which is, hey, where is that money being held? Because I know a lot of people, once they amass some wealth, they go into conservation mode. They stop doing the things that brought them that wealth, and they go very conservative, and they say, hey, where's the place that isn't going to go negative? The bank, I'm shoving it all there. You don't want to do that, right? And the reason why is because although that bank doesn't go negative, you're losing money. How is that true? Well, when you're in retirement, you want to benchmark against inflation, right? That's what you want to benchmark against. The one thing that is going to be true for all of us is the eggs, the toilet paper, the milk. It's gonna take more money next year to buy that stuff than it is this year, right? And if that's true and you're not accounting for inflation, you're doing yourself a disservice. There's a strong chance you might wake up at 80 having to go back to work. And we don't want that, right? So if we look at banks and what the rates are at the bank and how they've compared to inflation historically, they don't compare. Inflation kicks bank rates butts all day, every day. Uh, so you might be saying at this moment, hey, Tyler, my money is not at the bank. It's in a CD, a money market, a bond, one of those instruments. Well, congratulations, you're not losing money anymore, but you're flat. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Tyler, flat is flat. I'm getting 4.5%. 4.5% is 4.5%. Flat is flat. Flat is zero. I'm not flat. Well, stay with me. 4.5%, you back out taxes, you're left with 3%. Inflation historically, somewhere right around 3. You back that out, now you're flat. Okay, so then that begs the question, hey, what is the place to hedge against inflation? Like, what's it going to take? Well, it's the stock market. And I'm not talking about individual companies, okay? I'm talking about baskets of companies. Large companies, small companies, medium-sized companies, companies domiciled here in the United States, companies domiciled overseas, companies everywhere, a lot of them. And I know some of you are thinking, Tyler, the stock market's too risky. I'm about to enter retirement. I don't want to lose my money. It's too risky. That's not the way to think about it. The way that I think about it is sticking your money at a bank that's going to lose value to inflation. That's risky business. That you don't want to do that. That's risky. Sticking your money in a place that historically returns 10%. Historically, it has outpaced inflation for the past century to a high degree. That's not risky. The reason why people view it as risky is because of the temporary downturns. Keyword, temporary. The stock market only experiences temporary downturns. What's the other truth? The stock market experiences permanent upside. Okay? So stay with me. If you look at the stock market, you extrapolate the graph out, you look at it, that graph is not going to be sideways, it's not going to be negative. That graph is going to be up and to the right, and it always will be. You zoom in, it's going to look volatile in a short-term perspective. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, you want enough money on the sidelines to get you through any volatile experience in the market, right? When there's temporary downturns, you want enough on the sidelines to get you through that. What amount that takes and in what places, I'll talk about that in a separate video. That's to come. But you want enough, and then everything else outside of that needs to be in the stock market. And I always get some people at this stage and they tell me, like I everyone in my family knows what I do, right? And they see me at a barbecue, they're saying, Tyler, I got burned by the stock market. In 2008, in COVID, in the dot-com bubble, I got burned. And I'm thinking to myself, it honestly pains me deeply because I know they didn't get burned, right? Like the stock market has never burned anyone and it will never burn anyone. I've never lost money in the stock market and I will never lose money in the stock market. The reason why is because I'll never make an irrational decision. What that looks like is there's a temporary downturn, you get nervous and you sell and lock in losses. The only people that ever have lost money in the stock market are the ones that have jumped off the roller coaster. You never want to jump off, right? And if you subscribe to that, you will never lose money in the stock market. And it's really a beautiful thing, right? I always tell people it's like there's no other tool out there where you can place your money in it. You get 10% return on your money historically the past 95 years, and all you need to do is one thing in return. Nothing. It's awesome. It's really awesome. And I tell people this story. You guys are probably familiar with Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett in October of 1987, he's the owner of Berkshire Hathaway, right? And Berkshire Hathaway went down in value. His position went down in value $342 million in one day. And I always tell people, or I always ask them, how much money did he lose? Zero. You want to know why? He didn't sell. And that's the beautiful truth of the stock market. You don't lose if you don't sell. Okay, so the reason why I say all that is because that 25 multiplier, you got all your money at the bank, it might not be a 25, right? You might need to factor a 30 multiplier or something higher. But if you got your money invested appropriately, a 25 multiplier is actually a conservative metric. And that's what you want to do entering retirement is be conservative with it. Okay, so if you want to see some more detailed projections, not this napkin math, feel free to reach out. Go to our website, schedule time. We can run through some of our financial planning software. Happy to go in depth on different strategies that might even make things more efficient. I love doing that. But feel free to comment down below. Any questions, like, subscribe, share the message, and stay tuned for our next video. Bye for now.